One.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Live with Kyle and Alex. Tonight, we are broadcasting across the globe in Dubai.
And a little bit about our guest. Mr. Aby is an actor, an all-around man. He does commercials. He teaches online classes. The man is just a downright all-around guy.
Right after the show, be sure to type your questions in. We'll be bringing them off on Facebook Live, YouTube Live, Twitch, and Periscope. Right after the show, we'll be having a live Q&A, so be sure to tune in for that. Now sit back, relax, and enjoy the show.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Live with Kyle and Alex. Tonight, we are really doing something special. We are talking to my great friend from Dubai, who's actually in Amman, Jordan at the moment. All the way from Amman, Jordan, we have RIk Aby. I love it. How you doing, Rick?
I'm good.
Yes.
I just wanted to say thank you and hello, Alex, again. It's always great seeing you. And
Yes.
Kyle, thank you so much. Being in quarantine for sure. I think this is the future.
Yeah.
But we'd be perfect. You know that, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah. So how did that work? You got over there and you went to quarantine?
okay, it's a funny story actually. So just a little bit of a backstory. Now I was renewing my passport. And I was talking to my family. This was actually right after you left back to Tucson. Okay, we had two deaths in the family. One was my uncle, God rest his soul. The other was my cousin. And so I sent my passport to be renewed at the Sudanese consulate. That's where I'm from. And so we were waiting for the passport to get renewed. And what happens is they send a bunch of passports, back to the capital, and then they print them out in a factory. And so they said mine would come out in 1 month, and we were supposed to start shooting like a week from then, and 1 month wasn't going to cut it. And so I had to make calls, and obviously because of the situations that happened in the family, couldn't get a hold of uncle and whatever. And so I had like maybe 6 people just trying to at least get me a picture of my passport. And so luckily I was able to get a picture. Just for them to do the permits to allow me to come to Jordan.
Okay.
Yeah, and on the 14th of March, I get a call from the agent that I signed with for this project. I got two, so I got her, and then I got like my full-time rep who you met, Milena Schwager of VEB, right? So put a little shout out there. So.
Yeah.
So my agent then told me on the 14th I thought I was going to leave to Dubai, fly from there on the 15th, because mind you, I still don't have my passport in my hands. Okay. Yes.
Whoa.
There's speculation that with the next batch of passports that they sent back to Dubai, I might have my passport. But with that said, they still booked me a ticket. So we're gambling even, bigger than Vegas at this point. You know what I mean? So no passport, just hope and faith. that all's going to work out. So I reach. So my agent tells. So I tell her, okay, so I'm going to go to the consulate on the 15th from Abu Dhabi, and she said, no, you're going to come to Dubai that night. And so they booked me a hotel. And when I arrived, I thought I was flying from Dubai the next day. No, I wasn't. I was going to go fly out from Sharjah. And Alex has been there to Sharjah. You were there, yeah, judging at the theater festival there. And that's like a good 30 minutes away, you know?
Absolutely.
So I needed to like book my stuff online and then just, run like the Dickens. So I checked out with my luggage, went to the consulate, and people are looking at me like I'm weird. Okay. This is on the 16th. So I get my passport, and then I rush straight. I get on the cab and then get on the metro and then stop at the station and then rush straight to Sharjah Airport. And I cut to the front of the because no one was there, so there was practically no line. I was there 2 hours early. Do you understand what this means? 2 hours early, like I'm there way ahead of everyone. And because I checked in online, I just had to throw in like my luggage, and then they grounded me. They said I couldn't fly. So I had a liaison. Yep. And then we have to speak to the authorities. The authorities told us no, check with the travel agency. So I went checked with the travel agency, and then they said, okay, if you want to claim your money, okay, then you're gonna have to talk to someone there, the person on charge, and she was on the floor. I'm like, but I don't want to claim the money. You don't understand what I've been through just to get. I'm not letting this go without a fight, even though I had a one-way trip ticket. Okay, last year it was like 2 ways, right?
Oh yeah.
Last year, 1 way. So I'm like, all right, whatever, man. Into the belly of the beast. We're doing this. And the person, right? I called her liaison. He called the wrong airline, and then we called the right one. And then I saw someone who actually looked a lot like Kyle. That's why he looked so familiar.
Didn't know.
And he needed to get on the plane. So everybody's grounded. I'm the only, probably coming out of the UAE, the only non-Jordanian on that flight. Okay? And so yes, there are people that do look like you who are Jordanian. I couldn't believe it myself. I thought the guy was from Burbank or something, So I forgot what his accent was, but what I heard was, come on, I need to get on the next plane because we have this contract that we have to sign or else we're going to lose our factory. Do you understand? We need to get on that plane. We're heads of capital here. He didn't talk like that, but I just imagine he did because, he looked like he did come from Burbank, He was wearing, and he had like track shoes on. So, that's just my imagination running wild. Okay, so and then finally we called the liaison, and then they got me on the plane, and the lady in charge said, "Just whoever asks you, tell them you're Jordanian." Got it. I'm like, okay. The people from the Dead Sea are a lot more darker, actually. That's a little, a little tidbit of information for you. The area of Sodom and Gomorrah, right? The Dead Sea. Okay, so you got a lot of brothers up in there with straight hair. Imagine, man, like they got straight hair, like flat noses, and like you're a hybrid of what are you? They kind of look like Aborigines, but not really. They have like Arab faces, but like really dark. And again, I stress straight hair. Okay. So finally, I get on the plane. There's this chick who doesn't want to sit with me. That's okay. She moves to the front, and which is really important in the story. We get stuck for 4 hours, and then they send us to a Dead Sea resort, like the Dead Sea. So the Dead Sea Hotel Resort. These hotels are like, I don't know if you've seen my stuff on social media. These like places of beauty are like 7-star resorts, and I got like the biggest suite. So I there and I was quarantined for 16 hours and I had to wait for another 5 hours to get my room. And I finally did. And that was it. 16 hours later, and then 16 days later. Yeah.
Oh,
Then
you.
I was moved to Amman. And here I am.
Yeah. So how long have you been quarantined now?
Okay. So, well, okay. So what date are we on now?
Yeah, exactly.
The date?
April the what?
26.
The
26th. Okay. So we're April 26th.
25th, yeah.
I arrived here March the 16th.
Holy crap.
March the
Yep.
16th till April 25th. Oh boy.
And
Oh,
right
wow.
into the holy Ramadan
Yeah.
Kareem, by the way.
Ramadan, yeah. Right. So do they give you an idea how long it'll continue, the quarantine?
Thing that I do know, that is beyond a shadow of a doubt, is I don't know.
Okay.
But I did get tested, and so I'm just waiting for my security clearance because the consultant who was here with us in the apartment, right? Because the rest of the team are 6 hours away from where I am at. All right, that's
Sure.
where base is next to Petra.
Okay.
Right? If you know Petra, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're kind of around there, Wadi Rum area where they shot Aladdin and Star Wars.
Oh, wow.
Was
Yeah.
shot there. Yep, that's where we're shooting.
Yeah.
Yeah, where we shot last year, and that's where we're going to be shooting this year. So I just so we both sent both of our passports, and his came out, and so he had to leave, obviously.
Okay.
Yeah, he was losing it, but yeah, I love it. But yeah, really getting to me.
After all that time, I can imagine. Yeah.
Yeah, but I was maintaining. I had Alex in my life, and now I got Kyle in my life. So
Yeah.
I'm
That's
I'm
right.
keeping it. I mean,
Absolutely.
like a rescue team, but no, I'm okay.
All right.
So, did you live in Dubai your entire life?
Yes, 40 years. Abu
How'd
Dhabi.
you get entertainment?
Yeah.
Whoa, wow, that's one hell of a story. So, as I told Alex before, I think we are handpicked. Like I call us the chosen ones because you never really choose this business; it chooses you,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
So,
We talked
yeah,
about. Yeah. Yeah. We
yeah,
talked about that. Yeah.
yeah, we
Absolutely.
did.
And
So, yeah,
I had to say something, not to interrupt you. Just in your honor, I had to wear my Dubai cap.
Wow, man! Next thing
And
you'll be singing the anthem.
and one shirt I got in Dubai.
Oh, God,
All in your
wow!
honor. Do you know this is the first time I've worn this shirt? And I said,
Holy, that is huge. Thank you on behalf of the UAE. Thank you.
Yes, indeed. Absolutely.
This link, and all the guys that are working in the government and all,
Yes.
because we have one of our people that's head of the Emiratization project on the expo that was currently stopped. I'm definitely going to send this link, and she's going to be see you representing for sure.
They've definitely got to represent Dubai.
Straight to the expo, bro. That's what we do.
Yes, absolutely. Dubai was amazing. It was an amazing for me. It
Wow.
Yeah, it really was.
Sounds like I need to get over there now.
Yeah, for sure, man. Waiting for you.
Yeah.
Once.
As a matter of fact, Kyle used to tell me how he wanted to go to Dubai, and we talk about going to Dubai, and I was telling him about you. I said, yeah, I got my buddy Rick over there. And for years I've been trying to say I'm going to get over there, and finally did it. Had to do it, man.
I'm glad you did.
Yeah. How that happened it was kind of amazing. We were talking on the phone, or was it Skype or something? We were talking, and it was WhatsApp app. We were talking.
Yeah, yes, we were WhatsApping. Yeah,
WhatsApp. We were talking, and I had said, yeah, I got to get there. I don't know when I'm going to get there. And then you said, hey, when you do, let me know. And this has been going on since 2012, right?
A lot of foreplay.
I've been saying I'm going to get
a lot of foreplay.
I'm saying I'm going to get over there. I'm going to get over there. So when I hung up the phone, I humped the phone and I thought, what am I waiting for? Why not go? And I could not, after I hung up the phone, after I hung up from talking to you, I could not find a reason not to book a flight. I booked a flight that next day because since 2012, I kept making these excuses. And finally, God said, what is your problem? What are you waiting for? What else are you doing? And I booked a flight. And I actually left, I left February 27th and got back March 6th. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So I'm glad I went, man. It was amazing over there, man. It's totally amazing.
Definitely better than the hot desert of Arizona.
Well, it could get a little bit hot, but thank God this time of year, it's not so hot. I mean, I'm hearing people telling me like, there's rain and all kinds of stuff. So,
yeah,
okay, I guess it's okay.
Yeah. One thing I noticed about Dubai, and I like your opinion on this. I know why. I think I know why. When I was in Dubai, Dubai seems to be the safest place in the world.
Absolutely.
I felt so comfortable. I felt like I could walk down the street with $100,000 in my hand at 4 a.m. and the worst thing that might happen is somebody just may say, hey, you might want to put that in your pocket. You may drop it at 2 or 3 in the morning.
Drop it, someone might actually give it to you. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, absolutely.
It's probably also the richest place in the world too.
Arguably.
Yeah.
Arguably.
When I was in the Dubai Mall, I actually took a picture of it. There was a little boy in a shopping cart outside of a store in the Dubai Mall. Nobody around. He must have been 4 or something, and it was stuff in the shopping cart. And he was sitting in the shopping cart, nobody around. Evidently, his parents were in the store shopping. And
You should have done a time lapse.
Yeah, I actually stood there for about 50 minutes in view of this kid to see who was going to come around. And I think 15, almost 20 minutes went by and I hadn't seen anybody coming. This kid, he's playing in the shopping cart. Nobody would bother this kid. It was so amazing. But you try that here, and no, you would.
You'll be on the 6 o'clock news.
Yes.
You'll be famous.
Yes.
There you go.
I really have to commend Dubai and what's happening in Dubai because it's safest place in the world that I've ever seen in 73 years.
Yeah, and the president's brother, Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed, actually, they had an interview, and they were asking about, what's going to happen with this virus, and he said, and I quote, "You have nothing to worry about for this," and he's talking about the citizens and the residents. As long as you're under our roof, you don't need to worry about protection. And they've been administering all kinds of tests. You remember the exhibition halls and all those places I showed you, Alex? They've actually converted all of them into like health bays, right? Where they've set up beds and they've set up checkpoints to get people tested, and that's why they're the most they're the highest country they're the highest rated country that's been doing testing up until now.
Again, the safest place in the world in more than one respect.
And now the cops, I saw these videos. They have like these heat sensors, like with these helmets, like ingrained heat sensors. That they just look at a person and then, like they can test their temperature, like some, state-of-the-art stuff that, would put total recall to shame. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Technology, Rick, technology. I keep telling Kyle this. Kyle knows all this behind Kyle and Eric behind the scenes there, Eric. I got a shout out
and shout out to them too. Shout out to
absolutely, man.
Yeah,
absolutely.
yeah,
and Kyle and
thank
Eric,
you. Yeah.
They do great jobs back there, man.
Yes, they do.
Yeah, absolutely.
I guess that sounds better. Dubai's president should sound better than our president right now.
Not that I want to mention anything about politics, but yeah, I mean, I'm not. I would definitely not be a Republican. That's for sure. I'll say that much.
Yes,
he is entertaining. I'll give him that much. But the news does kind of tend to twist and turn some things around. So, but actions do speak louder than words. And
yes,
prayers and thoughts with you, man. And here's a fact that I told this to Alex, Kyle, and I was speaking to some friends about this. There's actually two kinds of viruses, like two strains for now. Mm-hmm. So you got the coronavirus, which is like like a regular virus that has all the symptoms and all, and then you have the real big one, which is the COVID-19, and that's the one you should be worried about. Mm-hmm. So it can actually, if you got corona, then you can develop into like you can go into COVID-19 territory, and that's where you don't want to be.
Right.
Me, Alex, exhibited those symptoms. Remember when you were in Dubai? Like we were fatigued. Your bodies were aching. We had runny tummies, and we were feeling feverish. But we had to go and do what we had to do. And it was right after we left Dubai, right? And we took care of. No, actually, it was right after we slept because we weren't sleeping.
Yes, doing too much. We couldn't
sleep at all. No. He visited like three cities in like a weekend.
Those things that you and Chloe. Oh, by the way, Chloe got it.
Chloe, yeah. Yes.
Ivan.
Yeah, for sure.
Danny, the director. Danny, what's his last name? Took us
Danny
to
the producer. Yes.
He took us to see Bad Boys with Will Smith and Martin Lawrence in Dubai.
Yes.
Thanks. And
big time.
Yeah, exactly.
Where'd you say Aladdin was filmed?
The Agrabah. Well, actually, most of it, was filmed in Jordan, in Wadi Rum.
Wadi Rum. That's interesting. I never thought of that.
What's that?
Is it open to the public?
Yeah.
Really? Wow.
Yeah. I mean, we had a couple of rally drivers last year when we were shooting, but yeah, I mean, it's a tourist destination, right? They have all kinds of desert camps there, the luxury camps. So I'm looking forward to that, and it's really friendly. You meet people from all over, and it's really awesome. It's really, really awesome, and the weather is spectacular. But if you're shooting for 12 hours, especially in during March, it can get really cold. It can get around 15 degrees below zero, 0 degrees below zero.
Oh, well, don't go there during the winter time.
Exactly. Yeah. And this is spring right now, and I'm freezing my keister off. Like,
really?
I think I pulled them off either from working out or something. Yeah, I'd show you my feet. Like they're almost blue. It is really damn cold, and I got a portable gas cylinder doohickey thing here. If you can see it. I just don't know how to turn it on. That's why I'm not doing it. So to keep warm, I usually, have some tea or something, right? Or I try to cuddle under the covers. But it can get so cold that you can feel that there's someone pinching your nerve. It's like, and really insistent to him, like, this isn't, what do you call that kind of therapy? What is it?
What the
one
with there?
Acupuncture, is that right? This isn't acupuncture. This is some vindictive person trying to cause you some pain. You wake up and there's there, and it's the cold.
Yeah. As a matter of
Um,
fact, Rick, I think, you know, I really wish everybody could see some of your work, your videos and your films. Some,
I was just about to say that.
yeah,
I
Well,
was just about to say that.
absolutely.
yeah.
Well, if you want to laugh, and you think, well, if you have nothing better to do and you do want to laugh, watch how the media has, just stretched out this thing. If you type UAE actor stuck in Jordan,
Mhm.
you'll get a bunch of articles. They don't know my name yet, and I prefer to keep it that way because then, I'd be, breaching a contract, right? Speaking about
It's
the film.
UAE. What?
UAE actor stuck in Jordan.
Ac- Access.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
What a perfect name.
Wait a minute. Is that the full name? Wait a minute. Come on. What's the name of? Come on.
That's not
Did I
the name
hear?
of the. It might as well be. No, that's
Oh,
my. If you
okay.
type UAE actor stuck in Jordan, you will find all these articles from India that talk about our situation right now. And
Uh,
some of it is over exaggerated. So the over exaggeration bit is what's hilarious.
how many of
But
you guys are stuck over there? Especially
okay,
on your
so
film.
we are minus the actor that fled. He was a smart one.
Yeah.
We are, I think, give or take 56, 55 people. And
Ow.
it's me, the other, and two other actors. Yeah.
Oh boy.
We're the only talent there now.
And you guys have been there since you said
Oh,
March?
they've been there even before me. They came in
Oh,
earlier. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
oh,
So I think they were
that's-
maybe there a month earlier or so.
ow.
Yeah, but they weren't quarantined,
Oh,
right? It was normal then. Like there was no risk.
yeah,
Yeah.
I see.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm I'm curious as to how they're going to start up again. The
Oh,
industry, the world is going to change so much.
Oh no, absolutely. I think this is going to be more of our future.
Yeah,
yeah, and Kyle's going to be in demand. Kyle and Alex.
that's what we're looking for, Rick. You know, absolutely. And it really appears that way. And that's when Kyle came to me with this idea. He said, Alex, look, why don't we have a show come up with people? People are stuck at home. They need things to do during the pandemic. They're bored. They have nothing. And I said, wait a minute, that's a pretty good idea. He said, we just have everybody on, anybody we can think of, and just talk how they're dealing with the pandemic or whatever we want to talk about. And
Exactly.
I said to myself, for a 21-year-old kid, Kyle is kind of got a little head on him. I love the idea.
Hey,
And
hey, that's nothing to scoff at. I mean, who's heading like who are most of the social media influencers and all those people behind Instagram. They're people Kyle's age and even younger,
yes,
Well,
and making a pretty good dollar out of it. Yeah,
so
a killing.
I have my own entertainment company as a promoter here in Tucson. I'm also a vlogger, a prankster on YouTube, constantly
Wow.
going huge on YouTube over the web and stuff. So entertainment's dying right now. So I want to figure out a way to keep my life around. So I went to
Absolutely.
Alex since I've known him for what 2-3 years already. And I was like, let's do a web show. Let's do something where people can actually stay at home and watch. I mean, there's people out there that's, my buddy Christian, he's doing magic and he's doing just doing events and stuff over it. And he's doing the exact same thing over Facebook.
Wow.
But I'm trying to keep my channel alive right now because I've been on the dark for so long. So with the camera work, I'm not a $1 million star. I don't have the $1 million to work, this or that, and have the big expensive equipment. So I'm working with what I got,
Yeah,
I'm working with what I got right now.
Necessity is a
So
mother of invention. No, absolutely. And kudos to you, Kyle. Actually, funny story. You remember our buddy Ivor,
yes,
other Mr. Positivity? Yeah, he
Mr.
gives.
Positivity.
Yeah, he sends his regards, right? And I said I'd plug him on the show. He told me not to, but I am gonna, because he's the other Mr. Positivity. Yeah, Drizzle. So he has a little something that we're working on, a bunch of sketches, right? And it's funny because I wanted to ask Alexander to be a part of it as well. We've already are actually doing this when me and Ivor wanted to do like a series of sketches. We'll definitely include you in the next one for sure. But it's funny that you guys are doing this, and I actually wanted to ask Alex to be in a bunch of our sketches.
Okay.
With different people. Yeah, telling one story. And I'll tell you something else, Kyle. One of my other boys, he's one of the best acting teachers. I would have loved for you to have met him, Alexander, right? But he wasn't around. He was busy directing the other plays, right? Well, when you came to Dubai, but and I just spoke to him just a little while ago before I got on the show, and I'm like, you know what? Maybe this would be a good chance for you to meet, Alexander. And two for the price of one to get Kyle as well. So maybe you might want to consider him. So he's the first. He's the first triple major in NYU. All right.
Wow.
Just an acting. Oh my God! Like this. You remember the performance that I did, right? For Othello. Yeah, that wouldn't have been possible without Carlo. I mean, he really dug deep into the physical and the mental and the emotional psyche of me building my character just for that little performance, right? And it brought out the best in me. He was also one of the hitmen. I don't know if you guys saw that episode in Sopranos where they got a bunch of Italian hitmen, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Gandolfini,
showed him to
Tony Soprano ordered. Yeah, he a part of an exchange with another the other Italian mob boss in Italy, the woman, right? So kind of like a student exchange program, but for gangsters. so they got a couple of hitters from Italy, and Carlo was one of them.
Yeah.
And he's just brilliant. Like he speaks English, Italian, French. Yeah, so he's something else. So you definitely have to get him on the show. But sorry to sidetrack, but yeah, Kyle. So we were talking about how this, like what you're saying, Kyle, how this is actually going to be the future, and we're trying to find a way to make it happen. Maybe do plays, but then again, that would be an interesting dynamic for plays because now plays, right? Because they'd be done like in front of a camera, so the acting would be a lot more subtle.
Right.
So that would probably be able to reach more of a variety of an audience.
Yes.
Right. Bigger variety of.
Yeah, because you don't have to read the 32nd row back here. You're speaking
exactly
the 100th row in the back.
That and no one can throw tomatoes at the camera.
Yeah, yeah, the tomatoes are out. Yes, yes, absolutely. But that is so true. This is the dynamic, and I didn't quite think about what you were saying about the dynamic of plays in this format type of a thing.
Well, even musicals, musicals are the same thing.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
They're doing a lot of music concerts now, I think, right? Yeah, online.
Yeah.
Now is the time to think outside of the box.
Right.
Big time. Yeah. Because everything is changing. I think nothing is going to be returned to normal. Nothing will return to normal. It's going to.
Yes and no. Yes and no. I mean, there are countries that are opening up, right? Productions. I read that Netflix is working with South Korea. Okay, because they opened up. They're one of the first countries that started, opening back up. So Netflix is there, and with the Scandinavian countries, right? Because Sweden's not on lockdown, so they got some projects happening in Iceland. So what I imagine is going to happen is even Jordan's opening up. So probably, you guys will definitely see you on set, as I always like to say, on a lot of these co-productions. And what I imagine is going to happen, I think probably the safest thing that might happen, and this is where you come in, Kyle, because you did this wonderful tech setup that's allowing us to be able to talk, from across the world, is think the future is going to be in animation and a lot of work that can be done online. And we're even going to start to look at studios that are going to start funding a lot of blue screen and green screen projects. What do you think of that?
Mm.
Yeah, I like it. And you're talking about funding. I'm starting up a Patreon page, basically where people can just pitch in money whenever they want a month, and kind of help fund all that. But I think I do. I think that would all. I think it would. I don't know. We just gotta figure out a game plan and make it happen.
Yeah.
And you'd require a lot less people and a lot less talent. I mean, the talent would be there, right? And the way I do it is I would, screen everybody, like quarantine them for 2 weeks. And then once that's done, and then, just have periodic screenings in between takes. And you have a lot of technicians, but not as many as you would have on a full grown set.
Right.
Am I right, Alex?
Oh, yeah,
Like
absolutely.
blue screen, indoor kind of setting, right?
Mhm.
You'd have a lot less people. You'd have a lot more Kyles for sure, right? But not as, but not as much as a full-grown set.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not a pro at it, but I'm not really, I'm not there on the green screen yet, but I mean, getting there. Hopefully, I'm not.
It comes in time.
Yeah, it's just all learning, but
I think
yeah.
with your ideas, and Kyle has some really great ideas. Some of
And
them
you
I have
need
to say,
yeah.
some of them
And
I
you
have
need
to
to
say,
talk to
wait,
Carlo.
yeah, yeah.
Sorry,
I
go
gotta
ahead.
corral him with a couple of them, but yeah, he, for a young whippersnapper, the kid's all right. He really is.
I haven't heard that since. That's even before my.
Yeah,
Nice these stars.
yeah.
But I'm just going to circle back, and Kyle asked me a few questions. So, as I said before, and Alexander agrees with me on this, you are handpicked, you are chosen, in this business. This business chooses you. So, I was part of a choir that at 10 years old, and we were rounded up, a bunch of kids. Well, all of us in the class were singing songs, and then suddenly the numbers started getting, a little less, a little, little by little, like
Right.
more kids were leaving, and we were just down to I think 5 or 6 kids, and when everyone's out of the room and you're the, you're one of the select few kids, you're in
Right.
trouble, especially in grade school. I thought I was going to get expelled or something. I was, part of the choir.
Oh yeah,
They
absolutely.
did an opera edition of the first of its kind at the time in Bobby at the time, with a bunch of other schools. So from different shows. So we were one of the first choir members to do an opera rendition of Hansel and Gretel.
Wow.
And yeah, and I trained in opera for 3 months. Had to give up candy, had to, do a lot of vocal work, give up my weekends, and when I got to perform, I performed sick. To this day, whenever I perform live and I'm sick, I know it's going to go well. So I had the flu, I was cold, I was crying, I wanted to quit. I performed, and then right after that, I think like a week, because I'm 10 years old, right? A week to like recover, and I, to God, I would never do this ever in my life. And here we are. It's not my choice.
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
meeting my peers from the business, it's not my choice. It never.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
And too, it's all about the people as well. And you got to make relationships with these people,
For
and
sure.
be friends, and then you kind of make your way through it,
Yep.
Yeah.
And but then there's a gravitational pull to these people for these people towards you as well.
Right.
Like I could I met a lot of big names that before I had anything to my name, before doing any films or TV or anything, they would just come to me.
No, absolutely.
Yeah, so it's like, okay, must be the cologne I'm wearing.
Yeah. Well, Rick, you're a talented man. You really are. You said something to me the other day over WhatsApp about how do you you were working in the show, the tape you showed me, where you threw up and
Yes.
yeah, and you
Yes.
actually physically induced
Yes.
yourself to throw up. I
Induced any.
mean, it
Yes.
in the things. Rick, can you talk about that and how you do that for a minute? I thought this was quite fascinating. This is
So
fascinating.
so I usually wear my glasses, okay, but it's been so long that I've been working without my glasses that I was able to develop a system. You have to, because the first film I shot, the director told me to go left, and I ended up going right. So it was really embarrassing. I said that would never happen to me again. So I had to,
Yeah, yeah,
so I had to develop a system, right? So I don't, you know, crash into a wall and not squint. I'm looking at the camera.
yeah,
That
yeah.
requires other senses. So and I'm teaching that. We're doing some online classes with GEB. I'm teaching the 13 plus years of experience that I've had, in the regional and international entertainment industry. But I'm just going to give you like a little tidbit. Um, like Stanislavski said, for the actor to be complete and whole, the actor's instrument should embody everything from your physical to your mental. And so I took that literally, and I've been known to dabble with a lot of disciplines. I've read up on self-hypnosis. I've, messed around with ninjutsu, Bujinkan martial arts,
Mhm.
which talk a lot about visualization and, controlling your breathing. But on that note, on physically and mentally inducing any emotion. I believe, first of all, that the sum of all of our energy, it comes from our breathing. So if you can regulate your breathing, right, then that's your energy. I mean, when you're running through a marathon, the last thing you hear, okay, other than the fact that you didn't tie your shoelaces, you're stupid, fall
Right.
flat on your face, is, uh, is your heavy breathing and panting. But
Yeah.
what if you're able to control that? You
Ah.
know,
Mhm.
so that's where energy comes from. It comes from breathing. So based on how you breathe, you can regulate a lot of things. You can sync a lot of things. You can sync your body. You can sync your mind. Because if your body believes it, then if your mind believes it, then your body's going to believe it. They're going to work in tandem. So in order to regurgitate, so in order to induce vomiting, I had to do what I call use emotional formulas.
Mhm.
We've all been sick. We've all had fever. We all know what it means to be cold. We all know what it means, to sneeze. So even if we've never been or have never um, had a certain emotion, we can recreate it.
Yeah.
So all vomited before. So what are the symptoms of vomiting? If you can tell me, like
I,
how do you feel before you vomit? What?
Hot.
yeah, but my stomach just goes insane and I can
Okay.
feel it coming up. Yeah.
What else, Kyle?
Yeah.
Hot, feverish.
Excellent. Okay, and
Just like feels like water coming up from your throat.
okay, but there's something that happens before that. Don't you get a little dizzy? Don't you get a bit of a headache for some
Yeah.
people? Right?
And
And yeah,
the breathing gets a little different.
exactly. So we always come back to the breathing.
Mm.
We
Okay.
always come back to the breathing. So when you regulate your breathing, you can, while panting, because in your mind you want to vomit. You've been through some sort of ordeal
Mm.
that would put you in that place that you want to vomit. And so your breathing reacts to that. And your breathing also um, centers wherever you want air to go.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
can bring it down to your stomach with the heavy panting and the movements, and
Mhm.
before you know it, the sweat's going to be trickling down your face,
Oh, absolutely.
feeling dizzy, right? And then, with the air pressure that you put on your stomach, it's going to go up. And for that scene, for that movie,
Mhm.
East River, directed by Adam Getty, we won a few awards for that, actually. So
Mhm.
I wanted to do that movie just so that, not only so that we can tell a story from back to front, right? But because I want to do something I haven't done before, and that's induce vomiting at will. And so it took like half an hour, and they wanted me to take something. I told them no. So I've been eating the whole day and just really trapping the air in my stomach, in certain parts of my body. Suddenly your stomach is bloated, and then you start to cough, and then, all sorts of things are happening, to the point that, given enough time, I would have been able to have acid reflux.
Mhm. Mhm. Yeah. Well, you see, when you told me that, it's not something I thought about. But when you explained it to me, and after all these years in the business, I just never thought of being able, not only vomiting, inducing other like things within yourself.
Yeah.
I got
Thought
into a
about it.
seizure. I got into a seizure, although I've never had a
Like
seizure
that,
before.
yeah, the seizure
Yeah.
you was right.
Yes. So there was a movie with the director that was signed with the major studio in the U.S., one of the big ones, and we were out at night, just having fun, and so there was one person that was hitting on the women, and we didn't want him in the group, and so I wanted to make an impression, and at the same time, we wanted to get rid of this guy. I'm like, so I told my friend and then I told the director, what about if I get into a seizure? That
Ah,
way, we can get rid of the guy, right? And I'll get my audition. So the guy's like, all right, okay, whatever. Okay. And so in the end, unfortunately, the guy ended up leaving on his own, but it took me half an hour of breathing, of pacing,
yeah,
to get into the seizure kind of mind, right?
right.
And then when I told my friend, can I? Because I'm just about at the tip, at the tip, at the tip.
Mhm.
And he's like, okay, man, fine. All right. Okay. Go for it.
Yeah.
And they told me that I fell to the ground. I was frothing at the mouth. I hit my head on the ground. They called security. And then when they woke me up, I woke up. It was just a matter of seconds. The director had forgotten that I told him that I'm going to get into an epileptic seizure. So he's like, dude, are you okay? Even my friend, mind you, I told him this before, that I was going to do it,
Gonna do it.
right? And they're like, you okay? I'm like, yeah, man, that's just my audition. He's like, what? And I'm like, yeah, I told you I'd do a seizure, and here we are. And he's like, man, you just got it. you got
Blow it out of the park.
Yes, Stanislavski has nothing on Rick.
If only that were true.
I love it. I love it. Um, Alex, you got any more questions?
I have
Kind
a
of.
questions for Rick,
Sure.
but I don't think we have the rest of our lives here on. I think we're gonna have to save it for a little later. But Rick is.
Yeah. Where can people find you? How can they find you? Where can they know about you?
Okay, I can be really shallow and say you can Google me, but it's not far from the truth, because there's all sorts of stuff out there that I didn't even know existed about me. So
Yeah.
I don't think my website does it any justice. So if you find anything embarrassing or anything, please do let me know, because I don't know what kind of stuff people put out. RIK ABY space RIK space ABY. You'll get all my handles, right? You'll get my website. You'll get, everything, and the kitchen sink, as they say in the South, right?
Yes, yes.
Everything but.
I'll
Okay.
get all that in the description below as well.
Yeah, you got
Yeah,
to remember that. RIKABY.
EY, exactly.
Two different
And
words. Yeah.
exactly. And because a lot of people have been asking me also, together with the team at GB, we've actually put together some courses, and I talk about all of this, by the way, how to pace yourself, the emotional formulas. I tackle each and every subject, from senses to memorizing scripts to rules of the business. So we are holding classes. I think I sent you a flyer before, Alex.
Yeah.
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 How
It's
do
got
you
a background. Mhm.
Yeah, how do you let everybody know how to get to your classes?
Well, I can send you the flyer,
Yeah.
and y'all could just post it all over. We're doing them online,
Okay.
and I like to give a little something to the business that gave me a lot, and learn in the process, because we're still learning. One of the things that I'm actually playing around with right now is I'm trying to see how I can incorporate Mongolian throat singing
What?
and how that's actually acting. Yeah.
I love how
What? That's a first I've never heard of.
Mongolian throat singing and the sun and the moon. I love it. I love it.
Yeah, there's different ways you can change your voice, and you remember the character, right, Alex?
Which character?
Yeah, Othello. Remember how the voice
Yeah,
changed?
yeah.
We were doing a study of how a panther moves,
Yes,
and
yes.
how he talks and all of that, and so we try to incorporate that, into Othello. So we came up with something along the lines of, hold on, let me just say a few lines up. Hold on.
It is the cause. It is the cause, my soul. Let me not name it to you, chase stars. It is the cause. It'll not shed her blood, nor scar that whiter skin of hers than snow, and smooth as monumental alabaster. Yet she must die, else she'll betray more men. Put out the light, and put out the light. If I quench thee, thou flaming minister, I can again thy former light restore. Should I repent me? But once I put out thy light, thou cunning pattern of excelling nature, I know not that Promethean heat that can again thy light relume. Once I pluck thy rose, I cannot give it vital growth again. It needs, must wither.
Here we go.
I love it.
Yes, the eyes even changed. Yes.
And we spoke about that too briefly. Like, yeah. So if you can incorporate emotionally with
Right.
mental, it's really everything. You can
Mhm.
change everything. Just
Right.
a little among others.
Absolutely.
And now we are live with a live Q&A with RIk Aby.
Yes, and because Rick is in Jordan, we have a few difficulties. That's why you can't see him, but he is here, folks.
And also,
Yes, I am.
also post your questions on Facebook, YouTube, we're on, as well as Periscope. So post your questions now to get them answered right now.
Yes.
Yeah, that's funny. That you mentioned that we're in Jordan and we have no reception. Actually, we're on location on location here, where they actually shot Tatooine and Agrabah. So they weren't kidding when they said it was a galaxy far, far away. And I blame Jafar. I blame Jafar and Palpatine for this. So yeah, they weren't kidding. Yeah. Reception's pretty lousy up in here.
So
Beautiful view, but lousy reception.
So Lori wants to know, where did you grow up?
Okay, I grew up in the UAE. I'm born and bred. Been there for 40 years. Yeah. What else? Yeah, I went to an American school for 7 years. Yes, explains the accent. I'm originally Sudanese, although last time I went to Sudan was 83. So all I remember, yes, you guessed it, mosquitoes and men in white. So I guess that could have been, Alabama, in the not so, how do I put this mildly? Non-progressive days. Yeah. So yeah, I guess it could have been anywhere in the South, really. Yeah, mosquitoes got me like, speaking in tongues up in here. These guys are relentless. I mean, all they're missing is just like, all they're missing are like white hoods with holes in them, because they always come.
Well, maybe we can get them a couple of white hoods and stuff. I guess they're everywhere, you know.
Yeah, yeah,
So,
yeah. They come in many forms and sizes. Yep.
Yeah.
Johnny wants to know, any other actors in your family?
That's a very, very good question. There are actors, but I wouldn't say they're officially actors. My grandfather was quite the showman. He was a dean at one of the big prestigious universities in Sudan, and he was such a show stealer that there was an accreditation committee coming in from England, and the chancellor didn't want him to find out. So when he found out, my grandfather went ahead, took a, meet the team of the accreditation team, and introduced himself as the chancellor. So when the actual chancellor saw him, he couldn't deny it. So with that stunt, my grandfather became the chancellor, and the chancellor became the dean. and mom is quite the artist, and she has the most amazing facial expressions, and she can, just pick up any emotion and switch before you even snap your fingers. She even tried to play a joke on me with my brother. So she's like, listen, if you don't do what I tell you, then I'm gonna have your brother be, So I'm like, no, no way. I'm like, you wouldn't. And then she just like that, her face changes, and she's like, why are you doing this to me? What did I ever do to you? And you could see the tears dropping. I'm sitting there, I'm in shock at his performance. And while my brother's beating on me, I'm like, wow. So that's where I get it from.
The performance
And
is great while your brother's beating on you.
there you go. Yeah, that's yeah, that's how you steal a show. Can always count on mom to do that.
Summer wants to know who's your favorite actor and why?
Ooh, that's a tough one. Where do I start?
I was hoping
love.
you were going to say me. Just kidding, Rick. Just kidding.
Well, apart from also Alexander Folk, I mean, he's nothing to gawk at. I mean, he's been in the decade for he's been in the business for like more than a decade and still going strong. He has a career only others can dream of, and I never expected him to show up at my front door in Dubai. So that's something on my bucket list that I didn't even consider. But also, yeah. But also, I enjoy the late Paul Newman, because he spoke about how, because I saw an interview of him on Inside the Actor Studio, and he spoke about how tenacious you got to be and how dedicated you got to be. So that kind of inspired me. I also love Laurence Olivier, because hopefully I find myself, if I can only come close to anything close to a career that he's had, that I probably, while I'm slowing down, I'd still probably be doing, projects as well, like imparting my knowledge on the young generation. But there's so many. I mean, I can say Daniel Day-Lewis for his method act, and I can say Heath Ledger. I can say Denzel. I've been compared to Denzel. Maybe it's because we both share a lazy eye. I'm hoping it's more than that, but only time will tell. Jeffrey Wright. I've also been compared to Jeffrey Wright as well.
It's funny you would say Laurence Olivier, because in some of your work that I've seen you do, I actually have literally, this is no joke, I thought Laurence Olivier, and you kind of have that. No, that is no kidding. In some of your work, I've seen in the way you talk, and your accents, and how you can just change your voice and stuff, and how it's kind of that your diction and everything. I have literally thought of. I have thought of him. I thought
Wow.
about the NBA.
Wow.
That is no kidding.
Wow. So
Glad you
getting
said that.
so getting a compliment like that about a legend from another legend, my life is complete. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank
Doc.
you.
Thank you.
So, Gracie wants to know who inspired you.
Who's who?
Gracie wants to know who inspired you.
Wow. Okay. So many. I mean, with our current, with uh, our current host, Alexander Folk, for sure. That goes without saying. And I'm not just trying to be nice. Uh, I
Appreciate
I
that.
I have to, yeah. I mean, okay, yes, because I've been compared to him. I definitely say Denzel Washington and the previous names that I said before. There was a movie long time back. I think it's probably one of the first movies to come out about the Middle East, or in particular about the Islamic culture, is called The Message. And I was talking to Alexander about this.
Yes.
The director, who's actually the producer of Halloween,
Yes.
the late Mustafa, he exactly.
Yeah,
So
Mustafa Akkad, but
exactly. He
yeah.
managed, yeah, yeah. So he managed to get the best of Arab talent and Western talent. So you had Mahmoud Gaith, right, playing alongside Anthony Quinn, who were playing the same character called Hamza. So I would definitely say it was that scene with either Mahmoud Gaith, because those two were inseparable. I mean, they shot the Arabic they shot the Arabic version and the English version at the same time. So there is a scenic scene. That's that's kind of a plutonium, isn't it? But it was just that important for me, where he's writing in, just to save, like supposedly, like, the prophet from beaten. So he's just got done with his lion hunting, and he's galloping in on a horse, with his face covered with like his turban, and he just comes in and makes one hell of an entrance. And I've always wanted to do something, close to that. And when I saw that, I'm like, yes, that's what I want to do.
So Ryan wants to know if would you pick that career again, or would you do something different?
Oh, absolutely. No regrets. No regrets throughout the highs and lows. It's always been this, because even if I didn't choose it, people will probably choose it for me. I mean, a friend of mine told me, you know what? I think you should go into acting. I mean, what else are you going to be good for? Because it started with me being a class clown and doing impressions and stuff like that. He was like, you're not going to be cut out for anything else. So, everything else you just fail at. So just go to acting. Here I am.
Yeah.
Now that brings about a question I want to ask you about doing
Please.
doing something else. That I wanted to ask you, with all the things you do, and how talented you are, have you ever, or would you ever direct a film?
Actually, no. No, I wouldn't, because that's just another skill set. I mean, I've dabbled in directing before. I would not call myself a director, because I just love being in front of the camera so much. But by the same token, I also love seeing performers and performances and getting inspired and touched by them and connected by them, which is why I wouldn't mind also teaching and seeing the fruits of that labor shine into, students and hopefuls. Director, but no. Maybe opera singer, because started opera when I was 10 years old. So that still leaves a soft spot in my heart. And yeah.
So, also,
Yeah.
speaking of things, could you speak about, you have online classes? You're doing online classes, aren't you?
Yes, I am. Yes, with my management
Throw
team at
that in there.
GEB. Yes. Okay. All right. Thank you for the plug. So, I've accumulated over 13 plus years of experience working with a lot of professionals from Hollywood, currently from Bollywood, from the Arab world, from arguably almost every corner of the globe. And I've come to know a few things. I've come to study with some of the best in the business and kind of develop some methods myself. The classes are they're in two packages. You got the full like the half package, which is for like a group class, and then you got like the one-on-one private classes. What I basically do on Zoom is I take every aspect that I believe an actor should have and specify on it. So there's an introduction to character building, and then I go deep into that. How do you build a character? The importance of senses. How do you develop your senses? And what I like to call emotional formulas, where you can recreate experiences that you never had just based on the similar formulae that you've experienced all your life. For example, I think we spoke about this last time. If you've never had a seizure, what are the components of a seizure? It's a headache. Yes, we've had that before. It's an upset stomach. Yes, we've had that before. Have we shivered? Yeah, when we're cold, frothing at the mouth, maybe when you're hungry. So there's different aspects of the emotional formula that affect each one of us differently, which is really awesome because everybody can bring their own interpretation of the emotional formula to the table. There's also some vocal variety, how I change my voice, maintain and focus, the importance of energy, breathing, and how that can control everything. You can create, I think I also mentioned this before, you can even create the aspect of paralysis, paralyzing certain parts of your body when you control the amount of breath that you take, and you can lock it into certain areas in your body where you seem that rigid. Even blindness. I tried it with somebody before. Yep. Among other things. And then, of course, there's the other things that I've incorporated, such as what I've learned, the art of ninjutsu, those exercises. The haka, we do a haka. I realized that, that helps, it gathers up energy and it helps with your, vocals, it starts with a strong, type of thing. I think I just shattered the windows here.
Another question from Billy. If you had to do something other than acting, what would it be?
Wow, that's a tough one. I dabble in writing. I mean, I've done a lot of writing. I've actually worked on my first co-wrote my first series. It was supposed to be released during the holy month, but that didn't happen. I've written. I've done kind of like a rundown for a show, for the first English tech show, review show in the Middle East. It was under Fox and Star World. That was before they were bought by Disney. So I guess I did something for Disney. I guess that would have to be like my first, TV writing credit. Film is a totally different ballgame. I mean, I've written all kinds of stuff. So probably writing. Other than that, probably singing if I could, fix up them vocals and all. And what I love about acting is incorporates really everything that I wanted to do. I mean, as a kid, I grew up with a lot of aspirations, being a detective, I wanted to be a psychiatrist. I wanted to be a lawyer until I found out that, after that you can become a politician. I'm like, okay, I got a conscience, so I definitely don't want to go down that road. And assassin, just don't hold it against me. Among other things, basically everything that I was really passionate about, even linguistics specialist, but I love languages as well.
So Vivian wants to know if you can do your vocal, your.
Okay. What vocal? You want me to change my voice or?
Give me a second. Let me.
Okay.
Throat singing.
What's that?
Throat singing.
Can you repeat that? I didn't get that.
Throat singing?
Throat singing. Okay. All right. So I just saw one video because I didn't have anything better to do, and it really, really inspired me. So from what I understand is it starts off with like a little ba sound. I mean, we all know what sheep sound like. Ba, and then you kind of bring it down from your throat all the way down to your stomach because that's the diaphragm. That's where all the power is. So it goes a little something like this. Okay, hold on. Ba, ba, ba. Well, let me start again. It's a little bit rough.
Oh, okay.
Wow. There you go, Vivian. There's your answer. There's your answer.
The things he can do, buddy.
What amazed me was, I'm a huge fan of the didgeridoo, that long wooden horn that the
Yeah, back
Aborigines.
in Australia, correct?
Exactly. So I never thought the human throat was capable of creating something so unique. And a friend of mine introduced me to Mongolian throat singing. I'm like, you know what? I want to try to maybe add this to my repertoire of acting. Maybe it could help me, understand voice better, project better. And what it ended up doing is annoying a lot of people, which is okay. At least I get a reaction. At least that's what I think. That's what I tell myself.
Yeah. Yes. I never thought there was a such thing as Mongolian throat singing,
Yeah, man. They do.
That's interesting.
Yeah, there's even one where they do a whole ode to Genghis Khan. So they start off kind of like a didgeridoo, and then they got these instruments that it's kind of like a barometer type of thing, like they set the tone of the oh, and then based on that, they start with their, instruments. And then someone's like, with their bang, 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 and whatever other instruments they got. One I think is like a minstrel, and then they got kind of like a xylophone / harp type of thing. It's really neat.
I got into everybody that can't see your face. We can't see your face. But as you were doing those voices, I was thinking, what does his face look like when he's doing those voices? That would be as interesting as the voice.
I wish I could show you, but Jafar and Palpatine, sorry, Darth Sidious have other ideas.
Yeah, that face would be interesting with that voice.
Yeah, actually, you know what? No, I'll take it back. I blame it on the mosquitoes. All these mosquitoes.
Okay, all right. I don't know.
Because people can't see me now. I have hairy legs, and I think they kind of missed the memo that this isn't grass.
You have,
but they just
eggs.
Dude, I have, with my genetic makeup, I can sit in the corner and grow hair.
Oh my God.
You'd best pray. There is no full moon because you'd have to reach for that silver. Trust me.
Oh my gosh.
Wolfman got nothing on me, man. For all I know, he'd probably be a relative too.
Oh, okay. All righty. So, Kyle, what else we got over there in the way of questions? I have one.
Joanne wants to know what kind of music you listen to now and when you were a kid.
Okay, wow. All right. Well, I love, first of all, that most of the questions are coming from the ladies. Thank you so much. I am a fan. What kind of music? Man, I've been listening to everything from Elvis to Michael Jackson, even music from Sudan. And as I grew up, I got introduced to different types of music. I can literally listen to anything, like from Chinese music, which I've memorized the song, to Hebrew music, which I've memorized a few tracks. What else? You name it, man. You name it. You name it, I've heard it. Music from Mali, jazz, even the hard, even the hard stuff like hard rock and punk rock. You name it. It really just depends on my mood. But I also listen to a lot of Jamaican music because I had a friend of mine who was raised by the Jamaican community in England, and so he taught me how to speak patois. So if we wanted to talk smack about people, we didn't want them to know, so we'd be speaking patois. So that helps. I also understand a little bit of German. So yeah.
Like I said earlier,
I'd like to say my taste in music is well rounded.
There
So I
you
listen
go.
to everything. Yeah.
There you go. Alex, you got any more questions on your end? I think I've cleared mine up pretty well.
yeah. I have an
Okay.
off the wall question, off
Hit me.
subject.
Oh, okay, I love that reference because I mentioned Michael Jackson off the wall. I see what you did there. I see what you did there, and I ain't mad at that. I ain't mad at that at all.
This has, I don't even know why I'm going to ask this question. And you're probably, everybody can, in the sound of my voice, are probably going to say, why did he ask that?
Why not?
But yeah, this is why
Questions are meant to be asked, right? I mean, yeah, exactly.
Like,
yeah. So,
it's
yeah,
like,
shoot.
because of who you are, the things you do, so many things you do and things you're thinking about doing, the voices.
Mm-hmm.
Would you ever go into politics? I don't know why I asked that.
Ooh, well, that is a huge responsibility that I don't think I can shoulder. I do have a few family members. Actually, one of my uncles was an ambassador to a lot of countries. And I think there's a few, but my uncle's the only one that I do know about. That's definitely something I don't want to do because at least with entertainment, I can tell a story and different aspects of different stories and know that I made a positive difference in someone's life. As far as politics is concerned, that's just really tricky for me because you're kind of like living on the razor's edge, right? With everything you say and everything you do being scrutinized. And to be very honest with you, I love my freedom for as long as I have it.
Yeah.
I'm
Well,
very I'm very fortunate that no one really recognizes me, so that's pretty cool because I keep changing the way I look. I got stopped at the airport a couple of times because I stopped looking like my passport photos. But yeah, and when anyone does recognize me, then I'm shocked. So I'm okay with that.
And I think now, like you say, you enjoy your freedom. It's like, I think we're all wish we could enjoy more freedom today because
Oh,
there's
you know
this
what?
thing called lockdown going all over.
You know what? I've been having so much fun with you guys and interacting with you. I feel like, you're with me right here in in Jordan, that I forgot we were on lockdown. And you see, this is what we need to do, like
Yeah.
as humans, we need to rise above this thing, kind of, I don't want to say treat it like the elephant in the room, but okay, it's here, but we still have alternatives. We can still communicate. We can still have fun. We can still overcome. And if this show and this interview, this Q&A session is anything to go by, you just, for that moment, made me forget that we're in lockdown.
See, when Kyle came to me when Kyle came to me with this idea, this is exactly what he was saying, and I got it immediately. This is what we are here to do. make people forget about this.
Right.
Freedom. Like we were talking about freedom. Right now, tonight,
Absolutely.
you were free. We were free here to say whatever we want, and this is what
absolutely.
this show is about. And I commend Kyle for coming to me with this idea.
Yes. Yes.
It's working, and Kyle,
Yeah. Deserves
my
a round of
hat's
applause.
off, my ball head and everything. Okay.
Well, now,
and
well, continue. I don't want to cut you off.
But,
Sure. Because I was just praising Eric, and I know how much you love Eric, especially with that Y2K stuff. I got you, Eric. I got you. I may not see you, but we feel you.
Yeah.
The man that makes it happen. Yep.
I'm having so much fun with this show too. When I had the idea of making a web show like this, it was only just going to be till the quarantine ends, and entertain people from their homes till we're on lockdown, till this ends over. I can go back and entertain children of all ages through stage and live entertainment. But we're having so much fun. Why not continue this through the rest of the year? Then from now on,
Exactly. Exactly. Hell no, we won't go. Why stop the party? Because a Tucson party don't stop.
Exactly.
Once it starts to pop. Yeah. There's another plug for you there. Love you, Tucson.
And the other side to this, Kyle is still coming up with some ideas that I'm like, whoa.
All right.
I don't know if we
Keep
can
them
do
coming,
that.
man. Keep them coming.
But yeah, stay tuned because there are things coming up, buddy. So
I can't wait. I can feel the passion. I can feel the passion, and I can tell you that this show is like, hitting off on all the right notes so well that you even have not even people, but mosquitoes. I mean, they just can't stay away from me. And I don't think it's me, but it's the show. It's like they really want to be on this show so bad that they gotta climb over me and under me and above me and beside me to be noticed by you guys. Please acknowledge them and let them leave me the hell alone.
Do you know something, Rick? That statement is going to define this show forever.
I'm sure, because you got mosquitoes
so amazing.
in Tucson.
Mosquitoes are fighting to be on it. They're
exactly.
To get
there you go. There you go. Yeah, man. But you know what? Maybe they might be lost and they think this is Tucson because our scenery looks very similar to like the backdrop of the Grand Canyon. I think I told you guys that before.
Yeah.
So technically I am here in Tucson. And yeah, man. Feeling it.
Well, before we end this show real fast, I have one other question for you.
Absolutely.
And we could talk more off the air as well if you like. But
absolutely. Yes.
What would you rather be? Would you rather be a film actor or a stage actor?
Wow, that is an amazing question. A lot of people have actually asked me that. Okay, so the challenge of theater will always, I know the Republicans would, I know the Republicans would love me for this. The challenge of doing theater would always trump
no,
film
you
and
didn't say that.
TV.
You didn't say that. No,
hey, we got to respect all the fans. We got to respect all the fans. I'm not a Republican. I'm not a Republican, but it just came out. Okay. All right. Tomatoes you want, but hey, we got to diversify, man. We got to diversify.
He had to say that. I thought we'd get through the whole show without
the virus knows this virus doesn't know nothing about no red, no blue, no. So we gotta diversify. But no, back to the question. So I started doing theater with opera, and just the challenge of and the discipline of theater will help you transition into film and TV.
Yeah.
For my downtime, I would say theater actor, but for the long haul, and to make an impact, I'm gonna have to sell my soul and say commercial.
Yes.
But before I came here to shoot this movie, and while I was shooting, the two other series that are airing right now in the Middle East, right? One, funny enough, that I mentioned the whole, Trump thing is I played a MAGA, true blue, let's say, what's the word I'm looking for? Tea Party sports pundit slash announcer who is gunning for the lead character, who is a Saudi boxer facing off against an American boxer, and I gave him like the monikers, Naju the Wildcat Gannon versus Jennifer the Hurricane McCarthy.
There you go.
There's that voice, folks.
And yeah, and another series where I'm playing this corrupt hospital owner and investor in the what would be termed the Arabic version of Black Mirror. I haven't seen Black Mirror yet, but so while in between, I mean, I actually got a chance to do theater, and it helped prep me, and knock me off my high horse, which was much needed. Always, I mean, we always need a reminder of where we stand. And it also helped build the stamina to continue doing these, huge projects and this biopic film that we're shooting right now in Jordan.
All right.
Yeah.
And
So,
continue. I didn't want to cut you off.
No, it's just that, like the like that theme song, theater and film and TV are kind of like love and marriage, go together like a horse and carriage. Yes, I tell you, brother, can't have one without the other.
There you go. There you go. Well, real fast before we end the show tonight, where can people find your? Well, what are the names of your films you're working on now, and where can people find you?
Well, on Google under RIk space ABY, you'll be able to find all my social media handles and the websites. Yeah, I'm currently just using one, but there's another one too. The one that I gave you last time, Kyle, was RIK ABY, RIk Aby, .xyz.
Right.
And I'm on Facebook, and I'm on Instagram, and I'm also on IMDb, and you got a lot of the credits there. You can check them out. There's a movie that was with Pierce Brosnan and Nick Cannon and directed by Rennie Harlan, who directed Die Hard 2. And I have a supporting role in that project, and it should be coming out soon. It's called The Misfits, and currently we're shooting a film called Goat Days. And let me tell you, I've never seen so many goats, to the point that we all started looking like goats, with our beards all over the place. And it's not the lockdown look, it's the Goat Days look.
There you go.
Say, man, I dare you. Say, man, I dare you. I dare you.
And all those links are in the description, either above or below. I know each platform that we're streaming on right now is a little different, so you'll see it there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Alex, have anything else you would like to say to Mr. RIk Aby?
Hey, I just got to say, Rick, really appreciate you. Thank you so much. Thank you extraordinarily. Thank you.
Yeah. I should get a T-shirt like that. But yeah, no, thank you. And I'm glad that schedule cleared up, because we were supposed to shoot, and then with the weather changes here, they actually pushed my shoot to like I think Sunday or maybe Monday. But that's okay. I would have hated to have missed this Q&A session, because I know that later things would have been hectic and wouldn't be able to do this, especially that we've been getting a lot of power shortages here in the area. We are in the desert after all, So, but yeah, thank you for taking the time and patience. And
thank you.
Yeah,
Right.
Yeah. And allow me to, spewed a few bars.
All right. Appreciate
With the
appreciate you giving
bars.
good time in these laughs and everything. Okay, and once again, people, Mr. RIk Aby. All right. Thank you so much, Rick. All right. Okay, Cal, what else we have coming up for these great people out here?
Monday night, we have owner of Digital Creations and AZ Wildcraft Entertainment, Layla Huff. She's also a SAG AFTRA representative actress. So don't forget to tune in Monday night, 7 p.m. on YouTube, Facebook Live, Twitch, and Periscope.
All right. Wow. Okay.
Okay.
I was about to say Monday Mosquitoes Day, but
How was that, Eric?